Greetings and salutations. My name is OJ as always, and welcome back to another episode of the Deadlockathon, a series of videos where I go over every single character in Valve's not so secret hidden game Deadlock. I'll be going in alphabetical order from Abrams to Yamato. I'll be covering their lore and personality, their gameplay and abilities, as well as their designs. Please do keep in mind that everything I talk about is subject to change at a later date, as that is just the nature with covering a game like Deadlock that is still actively in development. And if you wish to play Deadlock for yourself and don't already have access to a previous video of mine, I'll throw my Steam name up on screen, and all you need to do is subscribe, send me a friend request, and then I'll send you a code. Bad plug I know, but that's beside the point. Please do keep in mind codes can take 1 to 2 days, maybe longer to come through, so please just be patient. But with all of that said, our object of obsession for today is the cornerstone of the New York gambling scene, that being none other than Wraith. Now, as I like to do in every single one of these videos thus far, I am going to discuss her lore as well as her personality to begin with, including, like actual in-game background, lore tidbits, and some interactions between herself and other characters. And as I do in every single one of these videos thus far, I'd like to start by reading her very short in-game background. The cornerstone of the New York gambling scene, Wraith's organization is about as open a secret as it comes. However, thanks to a non-trivial amount of bribes, shakedowns and blackmail, Wraith knows that she's above the law. That's so short, that tells me nothing. Okay, it does tell me something. It tells you that she is the cornerstone of the New York gambling scene, and that she is part of an organization. Nice. It doesn't really tell me anything about her, which kind of annoys me a teeny tiny bit. It's probably the shortest background in... someone would need to check this, obviously, but I think this is the shortest background in the game, besides Lash, because Lash is literally just... Jacob Lash is an asshole. That is... Is that 5 words? I might be stupid right now, and I might not be able to count, but I think that's 5 words. So yeah, Lash is always going to have the shortest background of any character in the entire game, but otherwise, for actually serious backgrounds, Wraith's is obscenely short, and it kind of annoys me, because I wish I knew more about her. But speaking of knowing more about her, there's some other lore tidbits as always. Wraith, per a intro line that plays when you select her, describes herself as a degenerate gambler, and per some lines she has in Ivy's leaked visual novel, she also calls herself a female entrepreneur in a male-dominated industry. You girl, we love to see that. And Florence Nightingale with a gun. For those that don't know who Florence Nightingale is, she's basically the woman that revolutionized modern day nursing, and has been described, obviously, per her nickname, the lady with the lamp. I don't really know too much about her. I think I learnt about her in my history class, but I probably since then have forgotten. But besides the point, some other tidbits about Wraith is that she often makes bets with her teammates, and to show a what would you call it, a messy bet, I'm going to play an interaction between Wraith and Drifter.
You like to gamble, right, Wraith?
I know where you're going with this. Here's the problem with gambling on body counts with you. You're a psychotic killing machine, which means if I incentivize you to kill more on top of that, there's a non-zero chance that you don't finish the ritual because you want to pad your numbers.
You really thought this through?
I really wanted to make it work.
Thanks for considering it.
I mean, she got a fair shout, right? If you try and place a bet with Mr. Murder Hobo, I'm going to kill everybody, yeah, you're probably not going to win the bet if it has the word killing in it. If anything related to killing, Drifter will always probably be better at it than every single person in this entire game. And I kind of respect Wraith for thinking quite deeply, it seems, about the ways and means of going around that. I think that's quite funny. I like Wraith a lot, actually. I really like that the majority... She's very kind of quick-witted, if that makes sense. She is very quick to kind of throw shade at people and then immediately take it back at the same time. Or kind of go to compliment someone, and when they return when they return to her with, I don't know, some snarky comment, she will then immediately flip and go, yeah, I'm going to be snarky as well. And to show that fact, and because I like making fun of him, I'm going to play an interaction between Wraith and Billy.
Look, Billy, I know that people give you shit for having a goat head, and I just wanted to say that I really appreciate that whatever bet you lost to have that be the case, you were man enough to follow through with the consequences.
You think I look like this because I lost a bet?
If you didn't, you're even dumber than I thought.
Go to hell.
Like, admittedly, in that interaction, Wraith is a little bit passive-aggressive with her first little spiel about him losing bets. But the second he kind of returns with, like, you think I look like this because I lost a bet? Like, he's kind of a little bit aggressive. She immediately is like, oh yeah, I'm going to make fun of you now. I'm gonna make fun of you now, Billy. And, you know, more power to her. I make fun of Billy all the time. Maybe me and her would get along. Maybe. I like gambling. Oh, I don't like gambling. I just play so many gacha games, I can't actually, like, say, like, okay, don't do gambling, right? I'm going to say that now. Gambling, bad. Do not do gambling. It's a very bad addiction to have. However, I'm probably not the safest person to say that, because I play about 5 different gacha games. So yeah, I got no right to say that stuff, but please keep that in mind. Don't do gambling. Speaking of gambling, though, Wraith hosts weekly underground poker games, which are actively attended by Abrams, Infernus, and Mo and Krill. Abrams has a few lines about, like, he has a line where if he kills Wraith, he'll say, what does he say again? This better not kick me out of Sunday's card game. Kind of funny. And per Mo and Krill's video that I made, I did play an interaction between Abrams and Mo and Krill, where Mo and Krill are like, hey, we owe Wraith money, can you spot us like 10 quid? And Abrams is immediately like, oh yeah, sure, I understand it. It seems like owing Wraith money is like the last thing you really want to do in Deadlock. Like, there's a lot of things you don't want to do, you know, like piss off Drifter or say bad things about Miss Shelley the Bebop, blah blah blah, but it seems like people are actually petrified of owing Wraith money, and I find that very, very funny. Besides that, Wraith is a rival of the Mendoza Syndicate and the Seventh Moon. The Mendoza Syndicate are the gang that Ivy ran out of town. They're like I think they're a Spanish gang in some way, shape or form. They are literally just kind of like a crime syndicate. And the Seventh Moon is the group that Yamato is a part of. They're like a Japanese crime family. I don't want to just say they're like Yakuza, because they're not, but they kind of feel like Yakuza. And going off of Yamato's sort of, concept art redesigns, which I'll obviously discuss in the next video in more detail, it does seem they're going for a Yakuza angle with Yamato. Besides that, Wraith does employ Ivy's sister, Sofia Arroyo, to work as her accountant, as we know from Ivy's visual novel again. However, Ivy is not aware of that, and Wraith makes Sophia work long shifts, which affects her academic studies, which is played during an interaction between Dynamo and Ivy, where he mentions that fact, because Ivy's sister is tutoring underneath or under Dynamo, which... that's another... I've mentioned this a few times, right? But I love how, like, all of these characters in some way, shape, or form all kind of interconnect and know each other in some way. Like, Wraith employs Ivy's sister, which then results in Wraith by proxy knowing who Ivy is, but also by proxy knowing who Dynamo is, because Sophia tutors under Dynamo. It's kind of weird how all these characters in some way, shape or form are just linked by these small threads, which I just think that's really damn cool. But otherwise, as I mentioned, Abrams, Infernus and Mo and Krill are all regular players at Wraith's poker game, and from the sounds of it, through an interaction that I'll play in a moment, Wraith and Infernus have worked together in the past, presumably on criminal jobs, back when Infernus was, you know, in his criminal era. How else would you put that? I don't know. Infernus did crime. He did, what was it? Killing, body disposal, evidence disposal, stuff like that. And yeah, he's obviously left that life behind to become a bartender. And Wraith seems to be quite annoyed by that, or kind of like vaguely annoyed. Like, she doesn't actually show it, but she says that Infernus's work as a bartender is plainly boring. And per an interaction I'm going to play for you now, she believes Infernus misses her.
It's okay, you can say it.
Say what?
That you miss me.
I don't.
Practice that line more, so next time you say it, I might believe you.
Their little kind of thing of Infernus saying that he doesn't miss Wraith is actually furthered through a line between himself and Mo and Krill, where he tells Mo and Krill that he wants to stay away from Wraith because he actually thinks that he'll give in to her constantly asking for him to come back. He's worried that Wraith, of all people, would actually get him back into the life of crime, which is very interesting and to me implies a way deeper sort of connection than just working together in the past. I would not personally be surprised if maybe they were dating at some point or in some way. The way Wraith kind of says, it's okay, you can say it, that, you know, you miss me. It's oddly flirty. I don't know if I'm misreading that, but it feels oddly flirty, at least to me, right? So, and I think that could be quite an interesting idea of, you know, in fairness, kind of resisting the temptation of coming back into a life of crime, and Wraith just kind of being there, kind of just like trying to push him into it. But besides that, some other character interactions I would like to discuss before we move on is that Ivy, obviously, is incredibly distrustful of Wraith because of, you know, her criminal background. Ivy doesn't really seem to like any characters that are associated with criminals. She doesn't seem to like Yamato either. At least, I don't think she likes Yamato. It wouldn't make sense for her to like Yamato and not like, you know, Wraith. Or, you know, it doesn't make sense for her to not like Wraith, but like Yamato. You get the idea. She warns her not to approach Spanish Harlem now that the Mendoza Syndicate has been defeated. And Ivy, as I mentioned earlier, has no idea that her sister Sophia works for Wraith, which I think if that ever does get revealed would be quite interesting to see how Ivy kind of takes that fact, like that her sister is working under someone that she, you know, blatantly is not very trustful of. But some other characters that she has interactions with is, of course, Lash. She is a consistent better at the Bear Pit, which is, of course, a fighting ring that Lash and Bebop take place in. Lash mocks Wraith for betting on Bebop, and Wraith, in return, teases Lash because he lost to Bebop one time, which I, of course, went into a little bit more in depth in Lash's own video. He is very, very defensive of that, by the way. I'd listen to the line that he has between, you know, like Lash and Wraith. Man, he literally like shouts, "Shut up." Like, ooh, I can hear the insecurity like exuding off of you. Like, per a lot of the, comments underneath the Lash video, they kind of opened my eyes a little bit to, obviously, the idea that Lash isn't, you know, just an annoying asshole all the time. He's actually, you know, putting up a front. It's kind of a showman thing. But the idea that he gets that angry about losing the Bebop, someone needs to get that checked. But anyways, moving on to a couple final interactions. Dynamo warns Wraith not to take advantage of his students who frequent her establishments, but I mean, Wraith's a gambling woman. What's she going to do? Not bet on stuff with them? No. Wraith also gets called Wraith gets called new money by Lady Geist, or specifically Lady Geist says she reeks of new money. However, she does also respect Wraith for her cunning and ruthlessness, because, well, as part of a crime syndicate, she has killed a lot of people and also has bribed a lot of police officers to ignoring her establishment, her gambling, her casino, etc, etc. And this is a weird one that I couldn't really find. Like, she hasn't. Okay, Calico wants to be friends with Wraith. I don't really know why, honestly. Like, there's multiple kill lines for Calico where she says, "And here I hoped we could be friends," or "and we were gonna have so much fun together." Like, where's that coming from? Again, this is just another aspect of Calico being this weirdly, like, unfinished or underdeveloped character. Like, why on earth would Calico want to be friends with Wraith outside of, I don't know, money? Like, money? I know obviously Wraith likes to bet on things, clearly. She is literally like the gambler. Like, if you were to capitalize and italicize the, I could, verbally at least. But like, would Calico want Wraith to bet on hits and stuff? Like, I'm sorry, woman, one of your most important hits being Pocket, you fumbled that. Wraith took Viper took the piss out of you for that as well. Like, I don't know if I want to be betting on someone that got a bad track record, you know? I shouldn't be saying that because, you know, you never know. I could get assassinated by Calico. But, yeah, Wraith is, as a character, very fun. I like Wraith. She's a very funny character. She is very, very quick-witted, kind of is able to kind of snap back at characters who otherwise are relatively untouchable, per se. Like, Lady Geist very rarely kind of gets kicked down a peg, but Wraith is very clearly, or very honestly, will just kind of snap back at her. Like, she won't hesitate to kind of talk back, which I think is quite interesting. But before I move on to talking about her gameplay and abilities, blah blah blah, I want to give my small props to the voice actress for Wraith, that being Danielle Nicolette, which I think is how you say her last name. She's best known for Central Intelligence, Born Again Virgin, okay, The Flash, and X-Men, a TV miniseries version of it. She's obviously done voice work in some video games. I personally recognize her from Saints Row. She is the voice for Shaundy, which I didn't know, and I think that's quite cool. I like Shaundy. She's a neat character. Admittedly, I'm a bit of a fraud, because the only Saints Row game I've ever played is Saints Row 4, because I like funny superpowers, and I think it's kind of a stupid game. I think it's fun. But yeah, I like her performance as Wraith. She really sells that kind of quick-witted tone that Wraith kind of carries in a lot of her interactions. And yeah, I just think Wraith is a very neat character. I don't have like super duper high praise, and I'm not going to sit here like blabbering for another 10 minutes talking about how cool she is, but you have to know, I do think she is very cool. I'm very, very fond of her. She's just kind of a fun character, and I mean, as I said, who doesn't like a little bit of gambling? Don't gamble, but I play too many gacha games to not actually be able to, you know, give you that advice. So yeah, ignore me, but don't gamble. Anyways, with all of that said, I would like to now move on to talking about her gameplay and her abilities. Please do keep in mind that everything, when I switch over to that, I use OBS to record my audio and gameplay simultaneously, so if I sound slightly different, I do apologise in advance. But with that said, I'm now going to talk about her gameplay and her abilities. Right, so here we are in the ever so lovely and ever so helpful training range to talk about Wraith's gameplay. And let's start, as always, with her gun, that being the Rake. Now, this gun doesn't really have any special properties. As I mentioned in Warden's video, his fire rate scales to Spirit, and I think he's the only one of two characters that do that. Yeah, Vindicta's the other. I honestly... Okay. This gun, this is Wraith's bread and butter. Let's get this out of the way immediately. This is Wraith's, this is like 90% of her damage. I'm going to be completely real with you. This is a 90% of her damage. It is a Tommy gun with 52 bullets, which I think is the highest magazine of any character, like base. And per the nature of it being a Tommy gun, it is a relatively fast-firing, full auto SMG, which has shockingly next to no spread. Like, you just saw, like, all those bullets I shot? They're all hitting their target. There's, like, no spread at all, which I think is actually kind of shocking. But this is a very, very good gun. In the laning phase, it is incredibly strong at, you know, killing minions and securing souls, because you have so many damn bullets, you can kill 2 minions and secure 2 sets of souls before you even have to dare to reload. Admittedly, reloading is probably its biggest weakness, because it is a 2.8 second reload time, only beat by Billy's 2.9 second reload time. But the thing is, Billy has a ways around it, which is, you know, smacking people with the bat to restore his ammo. But Wraith, to my knowledge, she just got to reload this thing. Outside of course, Quicksilver reload, which is a really, really good thing on her, and I will discuss that further. But yeah, this is a very good gun. It does very solid damage, got a lot of ammo, does lots of damage on headshots, and this thing is integral to the rest of her kit in allowing her to blitz enemies, blitz camps, blitz towers, and like walkers and guardians. Like, I'm gonna get this one out of the way as well. Wraith is probably the best farmer in the entire game. I'm not joking. She just has so much damn ammo that, like, she can just dump an entire map. She doesn't have to waste time letting the minion camps shoot her while she reloads, because she's just going to be they're going to be dead. They're going to be dead before they can even do anything. And Wraith is very much kind of a hybrid character. She obviously, okay, she's first and foremost a gun character. Like, she really wants to do a lot of damage through her gun. But she benefits quite a lot from Quicksilver Reload, or the most important ability to her very existence, the one that allows her to be such a good farmer, Tesla Bullets. I've mentioned this ability or this item a few times. It's very good on like Ivy and Viper, these characters with like fast fire rates. There is no one that uses this ability better than Wraith, because of course, as it says, your bullets have a chance to shock enemies, and when you have 52 bullets, yeah, they're at least like a lot of them are going to be proccing this. So when you're standing in front of a minion camp and you're just dumping 52 bullets at base, by the way, that's ignoring buying anything like extended magazine. I wouldn't personally suggest that, but still, you can. you can just sit in front of people and you'll just dump mags into them and then they'll take all the damage from Tesla bullets. This gun is very good. Very, very good. It allows her to just do everything and anything she wants to do. I'd argue it's probably one of the best guns in the entire game. But anyways, moving on to her first ability, is known as Card Trick. There's a 4 meter, I think that's radius, so explosion, and a 0.7 second cooldown. Now you may be wondering, why is that cooldown so damn short? That's like the shortest cooldown ever to exist. Well, as you probably noticed earlier from me shooting the target dummy, you can deal weapon damage, or dealing weapon damage summons cards. You activate to throw a card that flies towards the enemy or point under your crosshair. It does 55 damage at base and scales with spirit, and has a single charge at base. So just to show what it looks like when you actually throw the card, you press 1 and you throw the card and it'll follow whatever your like crosshair is. But as you can see, it's not recharged whatsoever. It's not recharging. But now if I dump my mag, there you go. It charges up by you shooting people, and then you get it, and then you can throw it, and then you can just make it hit people. As you notice there as well, if I actually like throw the card and look at a person, I can press 1 to kind of like, or I can hold 1 to kind of force it to home in on an enemy, which I think is quite useful. Like being able to actually make sure, wow, it doesn't, why does that not reset when am I gonna have to shoot people every single time I want to show off the card? Does the cooldown thing not affect it? That is insane. Either way, this is a very good ability. It's just free damage, really. Because you're going to be, as I said, Wraith is very much a gun character first and foremost. She wants to do a lot of her damage through her gun. So there's not a reason for you not to be shooting people at all times. So these cards are just going to get stacked up more and more. And you're just going to be throwing them out whenever you can, really. And as I mentioned, she is a very, very strong user of Quicksilver Reload and its upgrade Mercurial Magnum. Because you can just put this on the cards, and then you're throwing the card out, and now you've reloaded your entire huge-ass mag. Just for Mercurial Magnum's sake, you get bonus spirit damage on your bullets, you do extra damage, spirit damage full stop, like 60 extra spirit damage full stop, and you get 25% fire rate. And you know, fully reload your mag, which is 52, that's a very big mag, and as I said, she's got a long reload time. So being able to shorten it just by, you know, shooting someone and then throwing the card, like that's just really useful. And the card, you know, it does good damage. You can kind of get people, it's kind of similar to like Sinclair's bolts in a way, where you can kind of like get people who are hiding behind cover. And I mean, it is just kind of fun to, you know, use. I like that it follows your cursor. It's very fun to just kind of spin this stuff around. Like I had no idea where that card was, but it still managed to hit someone. And the best part, to my knowledge, this is kind of just like fun to like, just say for example, like running, you throw a card forward and turn around and you're just able to hit people. That's kind of fun stuff to do. But yeah, it's like a very solid ability, right? It's not going to be like your main damage dealer, but like it's useful. Mostly as a way to proc kill Quicksilver Reload, but that's besides the point. Anyways, on its first upgrade, you get an extra charge of the ability, meaning that you can now throw out 2 cards. Or, yeah, 2 cards back to back. I don't know what... I presume the cooldown between charges is 0.7 seconds, if I'm not stupid. Yeah, the cooldown between cards is 0.7 seconds. So theoretically, you could actually throw out, like, 2 cards in quick succession and deal, like, the double damage. Or deal the damage of 2 cards at once. You get the idea. Anyways, speaking of damage, on the second upgrade, you increase the damage by 45, bringing the base damage to 100. And on the third upgrade, the card summon rate is increased by 50%, and cards apply a 30% slow for 1 second. That basically makes it so you can get your cards quicker, so now if I shoot them, like I can get my cards way quicker, and now of course they will apply a slow, which I will simply show on this enemy. If I can hit him, goddamn. 1 second. There you go. The 30% slow for a single second is nothing crazy, it's just kind of there as like an extra bit of utility that's kind of helpful. But otherwise, this ability, in my experience, of course, as I said, is basically the main way you're going to proc Quicksilver Reload. Because you're going to be shooting people, and if you're shooting people to get the cards, and you're low on ammo, and then you just throw the cards and keep shooting people, and then you get another card, and then you shoot them, you get the idea. Shoot card, shoot card, shoot card. Yeah, thumb up. Anyways, second ability is known as Project Mind. It has a 48-second cooldown, which is very long, and you teleport to a targeted location. Really incredible long description, but then again, does what it says on the tin, really. It is a 25-meter cast range, and you literally just hold up, you press 2, and it shows a T-posing model of Wraith, which which kind of funny, with the gun kind of sticking out of the ground. That's kind of silly. Kind of looks like our old model, actually. I don't think they've updated the teleport. Yeah, no, that's our old model. Wow. For those that don't know, Wraith received a model upgrade alongside like Lady Geist and Lash. I'll mention it more, obviously, when we talk about her design. But yeah, wow, they haven't changed this to be her new model. Either way, you look wherever you want to look, then you press your left mouse button, and you just teleport to wherever you put the thingy. There is a reason why this has a 48-second cooldown. It's because it's literally a teleport. You can, there's no strings attached to this. You can just go wherever the hell you want, when you want, if you want. Like, you can, as I just showed there, you can just teleport up the building just for free. Simple as that. But of course, when the cooldown is up and you don't have this ability ready, you are kind of exposed. This is probably one of the best escape tools in the entire game, because you literally can just look in a direction, cast it, and you're gone. Like, there is a good bit of distance that you put between yourself. And as I showed, you can just teleport on top of buildings. And if there's not like a readily available, zip line, or maybe the character just doesn't have the movement that's, like, say a character's chasing you, someone like Drifter, say he's chasing you and he's missed that mark thing that he can throw out. What is he going to do if you teleport on top of a building? He can't chase you. He's going to have to run around like a headless chicken looking for a zip line or something. He's going to struggle, really. So yeah, this kind of is a get out of jail free card a lot of the time, unless because obviously there is a delay before you actually teleport, so you can get like, shot during that. But hey, that's nothing for you to worry about. You just think of it like a free teleport. You get out of there. Anyways, on the first upgrade, you increase the cast range by 15 meters, bring it to 40 meters, which, even furthers the idea that this is a get out of jail free card, because now you are teleporting 40 meters away from people. That is a very long distance and puts you outside of the range for or puts you in the range where everyone now has to suffer from damage fall off. But the only person who could kill you from that sort of range is Vindicta with her ult, but otherwise you ain't got to worry much. On the second upgrade, you get a 300 barrier for 5 seconds when you teleport, and the barrier scales as spirit power, which, of course, will now help you survive teleporting if you are on low health, and they do somehow manage to catch up to you. And on the third upgrade, you reduce the cooldown by 28 seconds, bringing it down to 20 seconds, which now means you have a get out of jail free card even quicker and more often. However, of course, you do need to, level it up to the max, and I would argue that our other abilities are a little bit more worth it. But yeah, Project Mine is stupid. It's a get out of jail free card, as I said. You can literally just teleport wherever the hell you feel like and get away scot-free a lot of the time. Of course, if your thingy is on cooldown, you can get caught out, and quite badly, actually. Otherwise, Wraith doesn't really have any movement tools, so this is her one and only kind of get out of jail free card, and you don't really want to just use it, right? You don't want to just throw it at the first sign of danger. Like, you kind of want to be like, below half health, maybe even you've only got a quarter left or something, and then you teleport, because then you are actually in danger and you benefit from getting away that easily. But anyways, her third ability is known as Full Auto. It has a 25-meter radius, a 5-second duration, which scales with spirit, and a 48-second cooldown as well. You temporarily boost your fire rate, and nearby allies receive half the fire rate bonus. You get 20% fire rate, and your allies would get 10%. This is a very, very dumb, very, very strong ability. As I mentioned earlier, Wraith is very much a gun character. She wants to be shooting people a lot, throwing out cards, proccing Quicksilver Reload, and shooting people even more. This ability lets her shoot people very, very fast. So you literally just press 3, and now your fire rate is way higher. And it lasts for, as I said, 5 seconds at base, but can scale with spirit, which is why in a build such as this, which is one that I found a lot of success with, there is things like Boundless Spirit, because that will, say if I buy Boundless Spirit right now, the duration of Full Auto is now 9 seconds, which that's a 4-second increase from a single item. Like, now that's 9 seconds of increased fire rate. And just to show the difference, of course, this is the fire rate normally, and then this is the fire rate of Full Auto. You can see the difference, right? And of course, this applies to your teammates as well. So in a sense, it's like a miniature... Where is that ability? Where is it? Heroic Aura? Where are you? This one. This is an item that you can buy where you provide extra fire rate to nearby allies, and it's 30%, but of course this is an active ability that can only be used 25 seconds, or every 25 seconds. So she kind of has like a miniature heroic aura built into her kit, but that mini heroic aura is built into a character who loves shooting people a lot, and shooting people quickly, and doing a bunch of damage through Tesla bullets and such. Like, and this is what allows her to shred your objectives. I'm sure if you've ever gone against a Wraith, she'll suddenly have 30k souls, walk up to a walker, like with a single minion, and the walker's at full health, and then it's dead. It's just dead. She just shoots them so much. She does so much damage. Because as I said, you can just proc full auto, shoot them a bunch, and if she has Quicksilver reload, then she just throws a card, keeps shooting, throws another card, keeps shooting. She just has like near infinite ammo at times, and it's really absurd. And as I said, Mercurial Magnum only makes that rapid fire rate just even more absurd. Like, she is a very dumb character. Very simple to understand, I would argue. You literally just shoot people, throw cards, shoot people. Like, and full auto just lets you shoot people better, so why would you hate it? Anyways, on its first upgrade, you reduce the cooldown by 14 seconds, which brings it down to 34 seconds. I feel like you should mention the cooldown is very long, so yeah, use full auto sparingly. Use it when you know you can either get a kill or do a lot of damage or kill an objective very quickly. On the second upgrade, you get 2.8 spirit damage per bullet, which increases with, or scales with spirit, which now just allows you to do even more gun damage on top of your already very high gun damage, which is why, as I said, she is kind of a hybrid character who wants to build for both gun and spirit, because of course, as I said, the cards can benefit from the extra damage, the duration of full auto is affected by spirit, and now she's doing spirit damage per bullet, which then is also affected by spirit. You get the idea. And on the third upgrade, you get 15% bullet and spirit lifesteal and increased scaling on spirit damage per bullet, which now gives this ability a utility use of allowing you to survive easier. And because you're basically just getting like 30% lifesteal, I know it's 15% spirit and bullet separately, but you're dealing spirit damage per bullet and it still does the bullet damage, so you're basically getting double lifesteal at the same time. So yeah, very dumb ability, very strong ability. And with the third upgrade, it does actually kind of allow her to solo like objectives. Like, I've had games as Wraith where I've literally stood in front of a walker with no minions around me, and I've been able to kill it just because of the lifesteal and, you know, the extra damage you get from the spirit damage. Like, Wraith is a very dumb character, full auto, just... Like, look at that damage just racking up and up and up and up. Like, it's dumb. And I haven't even thrown a card, right? Cards do, obviously, like, 100 damage at level 2. It's just... She's a very dumb character. Very full auto literally is just one of the best abilities in the game for her. And let's not forget, of course, that you provide the bonus fire rate to your teammates. I know it's only 10%, but like 10% can be really helpful for someone like Drifter, Haze, Infernus, other characters that benefit from shooting people lots. So yeah, this ability is probably her best, at least in my opinion, and I just think it's very, very useful. Anyways, third? Yeah, I know my numbers. Fourth ability is known as Telekinesis. It has a 20-meter range, a 110-second cooldown, and you lift an enemy hero into the air, stunning them, and then you slam them into the ground. Targets after the slam are silenced and disarmed. It does 125 damage, and they are silenced and disarmed for 2.75 seconds. Just to show what that looks like, you press 4, you hold up your little targeting reticle, you aim at an enemy, and then they get lifted up, slam back down, and now they cannot use any abilities whatsoever, and they also cannot shoot you. In most scenarios, this will be used on a sort of squishier character, or someone who, like for example, say there's a Haze running straight at you, wanting to just obliterate you with all of her bullets. You lift her up, slam her down, now she can't shoot. She also can't use the invisibility to run away. Not very fun, is it? You can also use this to counter ultimates, so say there's a Lash flying in the air, or a Dynamo in the middle of the team, you can just kind of throw Telekinesis at them, lift them up, and knock them out of that, and it's very, very effective against Lash, which I think is really damn funny, that those two kind of have like a budding rivalry, and then Wraith is out here actually countering him with her ult, because Lash without any of his abilities is a sitting duck. Really? He can get really hurt if all of his cooldowns are, you know, up, which then results If he can't use any abilities, he can't jump away, he can't slam, he can't whip, he can't use his ult. Yeah, Lash gets really, really hurt if he gets hit by telekinesis. But yeah, it's kind of a thing where you have to like target a priority target to kind of solo them and then just move on to the next person. And because of obviously all the damage that Wraith can put out quite easily, yeah, telekinesis is very strong. I really like telekinesis. Admittedly, it can only, hit a single target at base, because speaking of its upgrades, on the first upgrade, you reduce the cooldown by 25 seconds, bringing it down to 85 seconds, which is quite short, all things considered, at least in my opinion. On the second upgrade, you reduce or increase the silence and disarm duration by 0.75 seconds, which brings it up to 3.5, which now just makes it even worse to get hit by, because now literally you won't be able to do anything. Like, for 3.5 seconds is a long time in Deadlock, and not being able to fight back in any way, shape, or form outside of, melees? Is really nasty. That's a thing I should mention, though. You can melee when you're silenced and disarmed. So someone like, say, maybe Billy or Abrams doesn't really get hurt too much by the silence and disarm. So yeah, do keep that in mind. And Drifter as well. I know there's a lot of like melee drifters out there. But on its third upgrade, telekinesis will bounce to an additional nearby target, which is very, very strong. Because now you're able to obviously hit multiple people at the same time with telekinesis, which is now 2 people being hit by its damage and the silence and disarm, which is very, very nasty. 2 enemies out of a 6 enemy team who can't do anything for like 3.5 seconds, that is quite potent. But like, just to show what that looks like, yeah, now 2 people get lifted up and both get silenced and disarmed. Like 3.5 seconds, look how long that is, really. Like, that's long. That's long when you can't do anything. The only characters who can really survive the onslaught that follows a telekinesis are ones who have like really good movement or buy into, like, like extra stamina and the such. Like, you can get really screwed over if you get hit by telekinesis. It's a very strong ability. But yeah, Wraith is a very good character, very fun, very easy to use as well. It's literally just shoot people, throw card, shoot people, throw card, full auto, shoot people, throw card. And if someone's giving you a bit of trouble, maybe they're like chasing after you and you can't really do too much, telekinesis. And maybe if even after all of that barrage, all those cards, all those bullets, all that telekinesis, teleport. You get out of there easy peasy lemon squeezy, Very good character, at least in my experience. And just know that you will probably not see your Wraith if she is on your team for a good 15 minutes of the game, because she will be in enemy or be in camps farming things with Tesla bullets, and then suddenly come back with 50k souls and the entire enemy team dies before you even get to play the game. Wraith is, as I said, one of the best farmers in the entire game because of the mix of Tesla bullets and her absurdly large magazine. And full auto. She can just obliterate, wipe out those camps unlike anything you've ever seen. But with all of her gameplay and my high-sung praises for it done and dusted, I'd like to now move on to talking about her design. Now, as I mentioned earlier, she is one of the characters who received a updated model alongside the likes of Lady Geist, Ivy, Lash, Pocket as well. I think that Wraith's design is one of the coolest in the entire damn game. Do you want to know why? I never noticed this. Never. I don't know why I never noticed this, but she has her hands in her pockets all the time. That I never even noticed that these arms were mechanical. This is the coolest shit I have ever seen. Ignore for a moment that the arms are weirdly clipping into her shirt and they're not like properly finished yet. Holy shit. The idea of walking around like an aura farmer with your hands in your pockets at all times as these magic arms do all the work for you is some of the coolest design stuff I have ever seen in my life. This is so cool. This is like, I am enamored by the amount of like coolness just irradiating off of Wraith from just the simple fact that she has her actual arms in her pockets at all times and she just lets these magic arms do the work for her. I feel like that's probably something I should have mentioned in her lore segment. There is no explanation for why she has magic at all. I literally could not find anything. Why can she throw magical playing cards? Why can she teleport? Why can she suddenly boost people's... Why does she have telekinesis? I don't know. There is no explanation for it. They don't even like try to say like, oh, she got her powers from the Maelstrom or a rift in space and time. Like, she just has this stuff. She just is a magician in some way, shape, or form. Hey ho, I'm not going to question her. Either way, looking at her actual design, she very much has a kind of like pinstripe. What's it called? Pinstripe. She kind of looks like a, you know, a traditional like 1950s, maybe like Italian gangster. A very stereotypical one, of course, but like the fedora. Is that a fedora? That is, I think that's a fedora. The fedora on her head is very cool looking. I really love the like pink feather that sticks out of it, as well as the glowing playing card that sits atop it. Wraith herself is a very, very pretty black woman. I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm going to be completely real with y'all. I am enamored by how gorgeous she is. I think she kind of falls into the category, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I've always had this thing where like characters can kind of fall into different categories of attractiveness. And say, for example, you have cute characters. Someone like Ivy, for an attractive level, would fall into something like cute. Whereas someone like, say, Paige would also kind of fall into a category of cute. Whereas someone like Lady Geist would fall into a category of like gorgeous. I think Wraith falls into the hot category. She is just really damn hot. I can't lie to you. I think she's really damn hot. But like, she is very, very pretty. I really love the jacket, like the pinstripe sort of jacket kind of just hanging over her shoulders with like that's a very cool cliche thing to do, like just having the jacket hang over your shoulders. You're not actually wearing it. Man, she rocks it really damn well. And I like that the kind of edges of it are like I would presume the reason why the shoulders are kind of like propped up like that is because of these like robotic arms hiding underneath it. But like this is just a really cool shape language. Like her having like these very heightened up shoulders, they just look really, really damn good. And it really sells like the kind of mafia feel that she has to her. She is a crime lord after all. The Tommy gun as well is obviously a very stereotypical kind of crime weapon, if that makes sense. Like, of course, Tommy guns were used during like World War II and the such, but whenever I think of like stereotypical Italian mafia weapons, Tommy gun is usually one of the ones that I go to. Interestingly though, the Tommy gun is missing a bit of details from the icon in game. Like, as you can see on the icon on the right, the handle for it at the end is wooden, whereas the in-game model is just simply still completely grey, which I think is quite interesting. But otherwise, her outfit is just like perfect. I love the little pink bow tie. I love the sort of the fact that the underpart of the jacket is this like red color. That looks really lovely. I just love her color scheme, like the white, black, purples, pinks, and the red. Like, it all just works so nicely together. I actually kind of wish her trousers had like pinstripe details on them as well. I think that would look really lovely. I understand why like her front isn't very detailed. Like, that is quite clearly like what would normally be like a buttoned up shirt, but of course it doesn't have any of the detail. I understand why, because, well, you're not really seeing the front of her or that detail whenever you're playing. So like, as you can see when I'm playing, I can't even see her legs. Like, her legs are just not available or visible to me. That's why, like, say for example, her shoes and her trousers and her shirt are all very like undetailed. They are literally kind of just flat textures. But I don't even care, because she just looks so damn cool. She's like both hot and cool simultaneously, and I can't sing my praises high enough for this. Hands in the pocket. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's like thingy Jotaro from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Like putting your hands in your pocket whilst you're stand. Is this a stand? Are the robot arms like a magician stand? Like, that would be sick as shit. Like, I cannot express my love for this. This sells the design immediately. It helps with, like, as I said, she's quite a quick-witted, cool person, and oh man, this really sells it. I love her design so much. One of those like instantly iconic designs. I would put her along the sides of like Lady Geist, Paradox, characters like that, who just have designs you look at once and you're immediately like, yep, that's a Deadlock character. Dynamo as well, and Abrams. I mean, every single character in this game has an iconic design in one way or another. So yeah, I love Wraith's design. I think it's fantastic. But with all of that said, this is now the end of the video. I hope you have enjoyed up until this point. Like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, whether that be a good morning, afternoon, evening, etc. And the next episode in this series shall be the final one, that being on the relic of the past that is Yamato.